So, my childhood was like a fairy tale, just not the good kind. My mother had 7 children with 7 different fathers, and I was the 4th child, and she had given me away to strangers when I was 6 months old, while my father was away at work. When he came home, she wouldn't tell him where I was. So my dad went through the courts to find me, and when he did, I was 3 years old, and he brought me home. And then he died of a massive heart attack 2 weeks later and left me with the mother who had thrown me away and a family that resented my return. It wasn't a good place for me to be. It wasn't a good place for anyone to be. We all suffered. But I was the scapegoat. I was ritualistically beaten and sexually abused. My birthdays were never celebrated, ever. And living there was like 10,000 fists against my soul. Fast forward, it's 1970, and I'm still alive in one piece, and I'm an awkward 14-year-old, and I'm extremely uncomfortable in my body. And one night, a lonely Saturday night, I'm outside, and I'm fishing in a neighborhood lake, because we live in Land O'Lakes now, because we moved all over from state to state. I wasn't ever able to make friends, and the fish were my friends, so I would fish. And I would take a stick and a string and a safety pin and a hot dog and visit with the fish. And this one night, I heard music, and it really compelled me, and I snuck away down the road to the rec center, where that intoxicating sound was coming from. And somebody mentioned something about a dance contest, but I didn't pay any attention to that because I was just so captivated by the music, and I started moving, and I didn't even know what I was doing, and it was like I was in a trance, and kids were laughing and pointing, and I didn't care. I just kept moving because, like magic, I felt free for the first time in my life. And then this one song came on. And nobody seemed brave enough to dance to it, but oddly enough, I did. It was Inagata Davida by the Iron Butterfly, the long version. Dun 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 dun. And I got a Davida, honey. Don't you know that I love you? I danced and I danced, my long hair flying, sweat spraying off me everywhere in the hot Florida night. My legs, my limbs, my heart, my soul fully engaged in my body. Oh my God, I was connected to my body for the first time ever. And I was completely lost in the music. And then when the 17-minute song ended, there was complete silence. And as if waking from a dream, I thought, oh fuck, what have I done? I've made a complete fool of myself. And then the house lights came on, and I'm like, oh, I'm fully exposed. And then the DJ pointed at me, and he said, all right, y'all. Looks like this here contest just got itself a winner. And he gave me the album he had just played. It was the first album I'd ever owned in my life, and it was the first anything I'd ever owned. And the kids who were making fun of me, they all rushed forward towards me, and they said, can you show me your moves? Suddenly I was popular, and I was like, oh my God. So I snuck back to our house that night, And no one was the wiser, except for me. I was wiser. I felt like there wasn't anything that I could not do. And later, years later, I learned that the lead singer of the Iron Butterfly got really drunk on a gallon of red wine when he wrote the lyrics to that song. And when he told his drummer what the name was, he said, slurred, "En la Gata de Vida." What he really meant to say was, in the Garden of Eden. And biblically speaking, that's the genesis of all things. How fitting. And just because of that hot and sweaty night, that lonely night at a dance contest, I wasn't a throwaway girl anymore. And like all good fairy tales end, I realized that when my family tried to bury me, they just didn't know I was a seed. Thank you.